In the 11th century, the town of Pagan, with its 2,000 pagodas, became the capital of a kingdom the size of Burma today. Its history began when King Anaratta conquered Taton, a neighboring kingdom, and ordered all monks, scholars, writers, craftsmen, as well as the sacred books, to be brought to Pagan. The knowledge and the civilization of these moon prisoners were the starting point of an extraordinary development of the arts and architecture. Pagan became the capital of Buddhism in Indochina from the 11th to the 13th century. The town was later destroyed and looted by Mongol troops, so nowadays temples and stupas are the only signs of pagans' past grandeur. Some 2,000 of them remain, spread over 40 square kilometers. Legends also abound and give evidence of the past, such as the story of the king who built one of the largest temples. He was so pleased with his achievement that he had its architect buried alive, so that he could never design another. Buddhism, which is more alive today than ever, is a legacy of the first Burmese kingdom. Over 80% of the Burmese population is Buddhist. The pagoda is the place where people worship Buddha, absorb his wisdom through meditation of his image, and on a particular holy day, they light candles or lay flowers on his altars. This year, Maung Tung's family all went on a pilgrimage to Pegu and to consult the pagoda astrologist. Buddhism, as practiced in Burma, is of the Theravada type. Its characteristic is that it allows each man, however poor, to reach happiness through his own endeavors. A central aspect of Buddhism is the belief in reincarnation. Life is eternal and can be passed on. After one's individual life, there is a succession of several reincarnations, which are all necessary to reach nirvana. The various reincarnations are determined by the karma, a belief according to which man can accumulate merits for his future lives. I am moved by the signs of extraordinary astrological science. I can accurately read the signs which appear from childhood. I can foresee 3 or 4 years beforehand the merits, the extraordinary strokes of luck. It's a gift. Do you understand? Thanks to the offerings you made in your previous life, you want to go on giving. And you will be able to. You will certainly be able to. And it is even written in your astrological signs that you will be able to build a small pagoda, and that your generosity will earn you merits, and merits also for your parents. Isn't that right? This is what I foresee for you. And then, even if you don't succeed, if your plans fail, your lovely soul will bear fruit. In this country, where the Theravada dominates, there is a certain way to consider life. detachment, non-violence, smiling, begging, but also a slowed-down dynamism and a rejection of creative effort. In 1962, a socialist-inspired military coup d'etat brought General Nguyen to power in Rangoon. He declared that, in the absence of mature political opinion, a parliamentary structure is harmful. The Union of Burma was in fact on the point of disintegrating under the blows of various rebellions. Since then, this country of 30 million inhabitants has been practically cut off from the outside world. Every decision must be approved by the one and only party, that is to say, the army. The established political line is the Burmese road to socialism. Some have called this tropical Marxism and labeled the country's economic policy a great leap backward, in spite of the government's remarkable achievements, particularly in the field of public health. In October 1981, after having imposed his Marxist-Buddhist philosophy for almost 20 years, President Nguyen was forced to hand over power. Has a new sun risen in Rangoon? The rural population greatly benefits from governmental measures. In former times, they were under the yoke of the rich landowners and of the Indian usurers, who lent money to the peasants at an annual interest rate of 120%. As the peasants couldn't pay them back, the moneylenders became the owners of a large part of the arable land. Today, the land is nationalized. It belongs to the person who works it, and he is loaned money by the state at very low interest rates. Rice is the dominant crop, but the amount the country exports decreases every year because the population is increasing faster than agricultural production.
Why do all these people wear the same clothes? And why have they come to join in the work?
These people come to work in the fields according to the rules set by President Nguyen, the leader of the Burmese way to socialism. When they work, the young people wear their uniforms. They belong to the northeast section of Mandalay, which co-opted them. Every day they work in 5 villages. From the beginning, all the work has been carried out according to the directives set down in the Burmese way to socialism.
All these people are then party members.
Yes, they have come on the instigation of the Burmese Way to Socialism Party. We are not paid, we work for free 1 day a year. The government doctors haven't been forgotten. On top of a political and strict basic military training, they also have to learn from the peasants how to sow and plant rice correctly, so that they can understand the farmer's life.
We have two golf clubs in Mandalay. This one is the biggest one. I used to play every week.
What is your profession?
My profession, I'm a businessman. I do tea business, green tea leaves. My head office is in Mandalay, and I have a branch in Rangoon. I sell over whole Burma.
Teak wood is exploited with rudimentary methods, which haven't changed in 50 years, but are well adapted to Burmese conditions. Burma has always exported large quantities of teak. At one point, it even produced 80% of the world's total production. Nowadays, rice has taken the first place, and the production of teak at the best of times is simply stationary, if not on the decrease. The reason for this lies in the insecurity of working in the forest, which harbors various groups of rebels. On the most favorable date determined by the astrologers, Maung Tung's parents have decided to celebrate Shin Piu. This is an ordination ceremony which will convert their 3 sons, aged 5, 7, and 9, into Shins, the first order in the monastic hierarchy. At the same time, the eldest daughter and Piu Piu, the youngest, will have their ears pierced. In former times, the Shin Piu ceremony took place when the religious training of the boys had been completed. In those days, the boys were 14 or 15 years old, and it was hoped that one of them would continue to wear the saffron robes all his life. Nowadays, very few Shins become novices, especially if they are under 12. Fewer still take all the examinations, leading to full Ponji, a fully fledged monk. Maung Tung's family is not very rich, so they combined all these ceremonies in one. Many years' savings will be needed to maintain the pageantry which is still traditional today, but this will no doubt reap great spiritual merits. Night falls, and Maung Tung is on his way to the monastery. He sheds his rich garments, as did Prince Siddhartha before him, prior to becoming Buddha. Every Burman participates in monastic life at least once in his lifetime. Townfolk will stay a week, but in the country, they may remain in the monastery for the full 3 months of the Buddhist Lent. Whether it be 7 days or 3 months, Maung Tung will never forget this experience. After having greeted Buddha, after having left an offering, I wish the merit be shared amongst all creatures. May they also benefit from it. Amen, Amen, Amen. It is 5 a.m. in the Mahaganda monastery. Maung Tung has said the first prayer. Burma has almost 300,000 monks. In each village, there is at least one monastery, often several. 580 monks and 30 novices live at Mahaganda.